Watch Mojo, a staple of the internet. We all know them. Garnering nearly 25 million subscribers, billions of views, spin-off channels of all types. Big Bang Theory, one of the greatest comedies of all time. This is the greatest collaboration you've ever seen. Hi guys. Today we're reacting to top 10 Big Bang Theory unanswered questions. We're going to be breaking it down, and we're just going to see if they're right, if they're wrong, because we all know Watch Mojo's been wrong many times, but we also know they can be right sometimes. So let's see if they're right or wrong.
You don't know, do you?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unanswered questions from the Big Bang Theory.
I can't believe this.
What? You seem angry.
Of course I'm angry!
So everybody knows what's in that letter except for me?
Don't tell anyone that last thing, that's a secret.
I'm going to let Watch Mojo talk about how the video works real quick. Play.
For this list, we're looking at any show details that were left unaddressed during the show's run. Since we're talking about important plot points, a spoiler alert is in effect.
I'm also going to put in a spoiler alert for Young Sheldon. Pretty much all seasons, because I might accidentally spoil some stuff. You have 5 seconds to leave. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Young Sheldon dies. I'm joking. Number 10.
Number 10. What are Sheldon and Amy doing post-Nobel?
The Nobel Committee will be making the calls to inform the winners at any minute, so the only drug I need is the endorphins pumping through my brain in anticipation of our victory.
In the final season of The Big Bang Theory, both Sheldon and Amy are nominated for a Nobel Prize. After an early morning phone call, they learn they have won, and the gang celebrates.
Oh my god!
We did it.
I know. Can you believe it?
That's a good point. What if I'm dreaming? We won the Nobel Prize!
Since the episode ends with Amy and Sheldon receiving their award, we're not given any clues as to the direction their careers take. What exactly comes next after you've won a Nobel Prize in the world of science? Given Sheldon's lifelong obsession with the Nobel, it leaves the door open to a lot of possibilities once he's crossed that item off his list. The best we can hope for is a hint in a future episode of Young Sheldon.
I have no doubt that that will be the case.
I'm not sure I agree with this one. Okay, firstly, they say what happened to Amy and Sheldon. Okay? I say, what about everyone else though? You know what I mean? They're saying Sheldon and Amy after the Nobel Prize. But everyone else is also there. And while later on in this video, they will be covering certain people, I'm still saying this is all just including one big thing, which I don't think should really count. But we'll move on from that, and we'll just allow that one, okay? Because they're clearly just trying to make the video better by putting in more stuff, which, okay, yeah, they are going into detail on different characters, so I will allow it. Okay. They're talking about what happens next, but I don't... How's that a really unanswered question? It's the end to the show, and it's a very good end. As Sheldon is constantly talking about, he wants a Nobel, he wants a Nobel, he wants a Nobel, and for him to win it with Amy, it's just perfect, really, isn't it? And that's why it happens, and it's the perfect ending. Yes, maybe they could go into more detail, Big Bang Theory, they could, after the show's ended, they could make something else, a Young Sheldon, or a different series, if they ever make one. So yes, technically it is an unanswered question. We'll give it to Watch Mojo today, but Mojo, you sticked right by there. You nearly lost it, so I don't know, just be careful. Okay, let's get on to number 9.
Number 9. What was the deal with Howard's dad? One of the ongoing story elements of The Big Bang Theory was how Howard dealt with his father's departure. In numerous episodes throughout the show's run, we learned that Howard's dad left him and his mom when he was a kid.
Where's my daddy puppet?
He never saw his father nor heard from him at any point afterwards. During a season 6 episode, Sheldon uncovers a letter to Howard detailing what happened, but Howard doesn't want to know.
Howard, don't you want to know what's in the letter?
If I wanted to know, I would have opened it years ago.
The gang opts to give him 6 different stories about his dad, with one being true. It provides the audience and Howard their own Schrodinger's cat. We all both know and don't know the answer at the same time.
Which one do you think it is? Matey?
Actually, I don't want to know. I want all of them to be true.
Well, one of them is.
That's pretty cool. Thank you, guys.
They've just said it right there. Okay, listen. This one's really confusing me. So they talk about how Howard's never got an ending to the whole dad storyline, right? Unanswered question. But he did get an ending. Sorry if you scream in the background. People being very rude while I'm recording. Like, imagine being outside trying to record video, sir. Let me explain. They play a clip where he literally gets the ending of it. Could be 6 possibilities. We'll take Sheldon's out, so it could be 5, but you know what I mean. Could be 6 possibilities, and we'll never know which one it is. So we're left in a bit of a paradox. So we know, and at the same time we don't know. A bit like the cat in the box paradox, okay? Schrodinger's cat. A bit like Schrodinger's cat, okay? So we do know it. So Watch Mojo yourselves have said that you literally said it yourselves. We know it and don't know it at the same time, so it's not an unanswered question, is it? Answered question. No point. Number 8.
Number 8. What did Howard's mom look like?
Howard, it's the phone!
I know it's the phone, Ma. I hear the phone!
Well, who's calling at this ungodly hour?
Over the course of the entire show, Howard's mom was a bit of a running gag. Like Vera's unseen face on Cheers, Debbie Wallowitz was a character we never saw, but certainly heard.
Howard, are you having a play date?
Don't have play dates! I have colleagues!
Do their parents know they're here?
No, but if you keep screaming, maybe they'll hear you!
Portrayed as an overprotective and obnoxious mother, Debbie Wallowitz was in the show up until season 8. The character was retired after her voice actress, Carol Ann Susie, tragically passed away.
I didn't care for her yelling. But now that I'm not going to hear it again, I'm sad.
If you want, I can yell at you later.
It won't be as good.
With the character now absent from the show, the mystery of what she looked like would always be there. Keen observers have noted that a photo of Susie can be seen on the side of the fridge in the boys' apartment. It's a close hint at what she could have looked like, while still not being an outright...
This one was actually an amazing point, and good job to Mojo. Due to the tragic passing of the voice actor, may she rest in peace, we got Howard's mum retired and taken away in the show. I don't know if the writers ever wanted to put her in. I think they could have done that in a future flashback, and I believe she is in Young Sheldon. I believe maybe it's a new voice actor, so that could lead to future possibilities. Yes, Howard's mum was never revealed to us. The fact she's on the fridge is very interesting. There could be some way to reveal our identity in a Young Sheldon cameo. Maybe something like a Young Howard cameo would be really cool, but I don't know if a Young Howard show would ever be a thing. If Howard's character himself can dress that much. Maybe that would be really cool if it was. Maybe a Young Howard movie, that would be cool. But, just to be clear, Young Howard is not a thing, only Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory are things. A good way to put her in Young Sheldon could be if, say, the show goes further on, and we learn more and more about Sheldon. Maybe it goes into how he dealt with Big Bang Theory situations and stuff like that. Maybe just in him talking, or even we get seen it. Alright, they could put Sheldon putting the picture up in an emotional scene where we do get to see her. We could get a flashback. Anything could happen. So maybe we could see her one day in the future. But yes, right now we do not see her. So that's the point to Watch Mojo. Play.
Confirmation. Number 7. Does Howard ever get his PhD?
Hello, boys.
Dr. Gablehauser?
Dr. Kuthapali.
Dr. Gablehauser?
Dr. Hofstadter.
Dr. Gablehauser?
Dr. Cooper.
Dr. Gablehauser.
Mr. Wolowitz.
Early on, we learned that Howard received his master's degree from MIT, but did not get his doctorate. As much as he is accomplished as an engineer, it's never stopped his friends and colleagues from poking fun at his lack of a PhD.
Sheldon, I'm more than smart enough to take your class. No.
For a moment in season 8, we thought he might get there with help from Sheldon, but that didn't pan out.
I am your professor, and you're going to treat me with the proper... You shot your spit in my mouth!
Is that gonna be on the test? Because I don't think I can do that again.
We wonder if Sheldon and Amy's Nobel win may have given Howard a bit of a push to earn his last degree. If so, he could finally be called Dr.
dunno.
Wallowitz. It would certainly be an improvement over Wallowizard.
好对。
一个人叫 Pasadena, California 中 Wallow Wizard。
Awesome. Okay. Another really good point by Watch Mojo. I was not expecting this from Watch Mojo, to be honest with you. Really good job. It's definitely a plot hole. We do not know if he does get it, but again, it's sort of the thing of unanswered question. That's why we just learned that he doesn't get it. He moves on and comes to content without having it. I do think he could get it. Maybe he couldn't. I don't know. There's genuinely they could go either way with this in the future. But I love the way that they pointed out that Howard could actually get motivated by Sheldon and Amy's Nobel Prize to go get his doctorate. So this is a point to Watch Mojo. Actually, a really good point as well. So yeah, good job, Watch Mojo.
Number 6. Will Raj ever get married? For 6 years of the show's run, Raj suffered through selective mutism whenever he was around women. This certainly caused his fair share of relationship issues. Even when he faced the issue head-on, his inability to maintain a long-term, stable relationship followed him until the series ended.
It's been a long time since I've seen a girl's really not her shoulder.
It always seemed that Raj's biggest hurdle was his inner battle of wanting to be happy versus wanting to make someone else happy. When the show wrapped, Raj was still single, but content among his friends. Does he ever manage to find a girl who knows what Notting Hill was really about?
And I don't think she's waiting for you in England. When you propose to someone in Notting Hill, it should be to someone who knows.
This one's a pretty good point, yeah. We do not get an answer whether or not Raj finally gets a wife or a girlfriend. Boyfriend, we know he's straight in the end. But we do know that he is finally content with his friends. This is another thing that Big Bang Theory just proves with themselves. The whole time of Big Bang Theory, he was battling his whole life to be content with his life. Without the perfect girl, without the perfect wife, without kids. But we do not get it answered. Maybe he does in the future. Who knows? Maybe now that he's content, he can finally find the perfect person and get kids and get the life that he's always wanted and be content without it and with it. So that's a point to Watch Mojo. Let's get into number 5.
Knows what that movie is.
Number 5. What kind of parents are Leonard and Penny? In the final episodes of the show, we learned that Leonard and Penny were expecting their first child.
Why don't we just tell people?
No, it's too early. I haven't even wrapped my head around it.
My head is wrapped.
Yeah, well, if something else had been wrapped, we wouldn't be in this situation.
This came as a shock to viewers, as Penny didn't seem enthusiastic about the idea.
The question is, would you like to have kids? So yeah, we want kids.
Yeah, someday.
Like in the next 5 years.
Sure. Next question?
After hearing her go back and forth on the idea several times, learning that she would definitely become a mom was certainly a huge surprise. That just leaves the mystery of how they'd be as parents. Neither of them had conventional upbringings.
I see. So you're here to tell me all the ways that I failed you as a mother.
Yeah. And get comfortable, because it's a long list.
Both Leonard's relationship with his mom and Penny's relationship with her dad certainly had their ups and downs.
I'm sorry,
Let me
Daddy.
finish.
However, given the love between the couple and what they learned from their own pasts...
Okay, great one again. Honestly, Watch Mojo really has clearly put a lot of effort into this. So really good job on Watch Mojo. I love the amount of detail they've gone into. This is definitely an unanswered question. We don't ever get to see Leonard and Penny with children, as the show stopped at the fact that Penny was pregnant. They had such a up and down relationship with their parents, and together they're so connected. It would be so interesting to see what they're like as parents. Maybe we can see a full future show on them being parents. That'd be really good. I'm going to give you guys a quick Young Sheldon spoiler here. Another interesting fact is that Amy and Sheldon had a kid called Leonard as well, so there could be like a whole new Big Bang Theory of everyone's kids. That would be crazy, because obviously we know Howard has kids, Leonard and Penny have kids. Maybe we're going to learn that Raj gets kids. That'd be cool. I think it'd be really interesting to see maybe like a Big Bang Theory, young Big Bang Theory or something like that, maybe. I don't know how it would work. Play.
They're confident they became fantastic parents. Number 4. Will Leonard's relationship with his mother improve?
Your mother's here!
Speaking of Leonard's mom, she was introduced as a high-achieving academic with little regard for any accomplishment her son ever made. He spent his whole life trying to please his mother, while she ignored him. She thought this would all bring him strength, but instead, this parenting method merely created an emotional wall between the two.
That's not really in my control, is it? Yes.
As the show comes to an end, Leonard finally decides he's had enough and forgives her.
I didn't ask you to forgive
Too
me.
bad. I forgive you anyway.
That scene.
And I forgive myself for taking so long to do it.
It's there we see her give him his first real piece of affection, something he yearned for all along. Could this have been a sign of better things to come?
Okay, great one. I don't really know on this one though, but because it is a bit of a double-edged sword, let me explain real quick. Okay, they just sort of look. They kind of explained it right. They really did. As Watch Mojo literally said themselves, they start to build the relationship back up, so it's clearly going on an upward spiral. Something I don't think the writers thought would be worth the time to show in specific, as they know that it's going on an upward spiral. As we know now, it's going on an upward spiral to be better, which is good, and it sort of was resolved in their own way, and the perfect way, in my opinion. We don't have to worry with the hassle. We can move on to the more important stuff of the show, and that works really well. But yes, I suppose we do not know exactly what happens further down the line. So that is something that we could learn about, and something that would be really interesting to learn about further down the line. But it's a bit of a double-edged sword on that one. So maybe they could add more to it, something like that. So I'm not going to give any point to Watch Mojo for this one, but yeah, the story could have worked on it more, I don't know. It's not really an unanswered question though, so yeah. Number 3.
Number 3. What kind of father does Sheldon become? Can you imagine someone like Sheldon as a dad? Through the events of young Sheldon, we learn that Sheldon and Amy have a son named Leonard.
I wanted his name to be Leonard Nimoy Cooper, but Amy wouldn't let me.
Be happy I let you name him Leonard.
Okay.
Given Sheldon's precarious history with his own father, fans became worried he might repeat some of those parenting patterns.
I always wanted my dad to build rockets with me, but he wasn't interested.
Ah, yes. Disappointing fathers. Tell me about it.
When it comes to Sheldon, however, we know that he can change his worldviews. For the 12 years we saw him on television, he came to grow far beyond his original struggles.
Really? You thought about our kids?
Of course. I think you and I will have exceptional children.
We'd like to think that, as a father, he'd give his son everything he didn't get as
a lot of opinions on number 3, as I do with everything. Let's start to talk about how Sheldon could have changed as a person and been an amazing dad, which he could. I fully agree with that. Sheldon's an amazing character overall, and he could have really changed. He could have changed a lot, and he does change over time as well. That's the thing. The fact that he named his kid Leonard really shows to me that he's moved and he's so feeling now. He's feeling more than he was before, which is something that's a constant struggle for him. But he does feel, especially in the speech at the end. I can't be giving him a point though. This wasn't an unanswered question about Big Bang Theory. This was an unanswered question on Young Sheldon, which is new and close to finish yet, and has been announced 3 more seasons on the way. So we can't talk about unanswered questions on an unfinished show. And B, it's not Big Bang Theory, so it doesn't count. So Roger, interesting talk, no point. Play.
A young child. Number 2, what was the deal with the pins on Howard's collar? Unlike many of the entries on this list, this one is one many may have overlooked.
Oh, damn, I picked the wrong side.
Throughout the run of the show, Howard was seen sporting many turtlenecks. But have you ever noticed the little alien pin?
That's what makes it get all funky.
Yeah, okay.
In virtually every episode, Howard can be seen with one of these pins on his turtleneck. They change shapes, sizes, and colors from episode to episode, but nothing in show ever gives us a clue as to their meaning. In a behind-the-scenes clip, costume designer Mary T. Quigley did say there was a reason for them, but we never did learn what it was.
And the infamous alien pins
yes.
that are always on the turtleneck, and there is a meaning behind them, which we will not tell you.
Yes.
It's an amazing find, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. Watch Mojo, the pins are 100% unanswered question. Could bring up in the future, it could be something to do with his dad, could be something to do with anything. So good job, Watch Mojo. I don't have much to add, but yeah, that could be explained further. Point to Watch Mojo. Let's get on to the honourable mentions, ladies and gentlemen.
Try to get.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honourable mentions. What happened with Howard's half-brother? We never saw him again.
Well, I hope I get to see you again.
I hope so too.
I've always dreamed of having a brother to play catch with.
Keep dreaming.
That was an amazing one. Good job, Watch Mojo. It's so true, we don't see Howard's brother ever again. Could be improved on in the future and something like that. We move though. That's a point to watch. That's not a point to watch Mojo because it's an honorable mention actually. Number 1. That's right, you're not getting number 1. You're gonna have to go to Watch Mojo's channel to see that one. I'm very sorry. But you're just gonna go on, over you go. Anyway. Good job, Watch Mojo. That was an amazing video. They went into a lot of detail, put in a lot of research, which is something I wasn't actually really expecting them to do. Well, yeah, there was some stuff they could have done lots better. There was a lot of stuff they did really well, so good job, I guess. I loved the detail, I loved the work, I loved everything else. I want to talk about why there's so many unanswered questions though. In my opinion, it's something to do with the fact that Big Bang Theory has so many future plans, maybe. They're working on Young Sheldon right now, and whether or not this will go as long as Big Bang Theory, or they'll just end it when the contract runs out, I believe it's season 8, unless they announce more. They have so many opportunities to entertain the world for a long, long time. This video is a video breaking down Watch Mojo. I'll be breaking down a lot more stuff. This is only the start of the journey. The journey starts now. Let's get right into it. Mic drop. I just dropped the mic. That was a mic drop and a half. Let's go.